time at Cardiff University when you were reading law, right? You were the president of the Malaysian students.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
MSSCF.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell us more about your experience as a student leader?
Oh, it was very fun. Actually, I never planned to be Malaysian Society president. I was in intra club and a school prefect at my secondary school, and then when I went to help, I was the law society president there. I felt I had enough of student politics actually, and it was very tiring, distracting me a bit as well from my studies because I guess we get too engrossed. But what happened is I was doing my bar. Then I started doing the bar, and a couple of friends came up to me and said, "Hey, why don't you consider running?" So I decided, okay, give it a shot. I won by not a very large margin, but when I went in there, what I saw is that actually the presidents before me had done really good work. The Festival of Diversity, I'm told till today, is still the highlight of our calendar. We had a lot of fellowship and things like that. But at the same time, I also had a very good committee. So I need to give them credit. Now, my experience, I would say, I think it was a great experience. You know why? First, we had to look, we actually went beyond the usual call of duty. We looked at welfare of the students who had problems. We organized things like, for those who just come in, we did orientation. We in fact did orientation in KL for those who were going to Cardiff, so they knew what to expect, what they needed to have. We did checklists. So that part I think helps me today in my current job. The experience that I got, on the welfare aspect, helping the students and all that, but also the organizational aspect, which is doing the activities, the FOD and all that. That helped me as well today as we do events on a much larger scale through my work in Gerakan, my party, and also in Teluk Intan as political secretary to Dato Keong, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department and the MP as well. And the best part of it is that I made some really good friends who are still friends with me till today, and who still encourage me, who still support me. And so yes, it was a very holistic experience, and clearly I think it exceeded expectations that I had when I first assumed the position.
Okay. As you are president of your Malaysian society, you were also part of the Supreme Council of UKEC.
Yes, automatically we were Supreme Councillors.
So what did you think of UKEC when you were the president of Cardiff Society, and how was it back then to be involved in UKEC, especially when the general election had just happened and students started to get engaged in Malaysian politics? Well,
it was very interesting because we assumed office in 2007, October, and UKEC was something I knew of. I did not know very well. So my predecessor, this gentleman called Rashdan Harif, as Cardiff MSSCF president, told me, he said, "Oh, you're also part of UKEC." So I did reading online. I realized there was some, very illustrious alumni. At that time, the name that kept cropping up was Nick Nazmi, from KR. And so we went down to London, and it was the election at that time. It was a quite heated election, I still remember correctly. It was 2007. And being there, so we could vote. So we were voting. We had great debates. A lot of it was on policy issues and direction of UKEC at that time. I think one thing about UKEC, which what happens in Malaysia does not escape the political awakening in Malaysia at that time found its way to UKEC. At that time, I remember we were having a big debate about Bersih. I think it was Bersih 1 in 2007, and we had a motion. I still remember on Bersih. I can't really recall how it went though. Maybe you can do some research and help me out. And so that was my baptism of fire, so to speak. But it was good being a Supreme Councillor because I think under Khairizo, who was our president at the time, he took over from one Muhammad Firdaus, who's very famous. and everyone. And he was the guy who really worked very, very hard to build it up. He's the guy behind MSLS, the brains behind it, and I see it's still going on till today. I attended a few MSLS as well. One is that we had the ASEAN Student Union, so an ASEAN version of UKEC. Khairizul started it, so we had a couple of meetings. That was great. We had a Project Amanat Negara and all that, which was, I think it still continues till now, which was a very good program as well. In fact, I decided to join Gerakan after Project Amanat Negara because one of the senior Gerakan leaders at that time came down, and he spoke to us, and I found, okay, this is the party that fits my ideology pretty well and what I expect from Malaysian politics. Third, I think it brought us together, students from all across the country. So I got to meet friends from Edinburgh, from Ireland, from Scotland, and I was from Wales, and a lot of them from England. And I think the good part about the complaint UKEC, I don't know whether it has come back now, it was very London-centric back in the day. I think it's the first time Sharil, who was the deputy president, he was from Manchester. A few of us vocal ones who push a lot of things through were from out of London. We had another guy, the late Marcus from Exeter. He passed away in 2008, 2009, I think. He was very active as well in doing a lot of the projects. So we had a very good team back then, a lot of good experiences. And I think it laid the foundation for the UKEC you have today, in the sense that we really went out of the usual cocoon that most Malaysian students would have in. We engaged our ASEAN counterparts, as I said before this. So great experiences, and I think the best part was also interacting with our leaders who had come down. We would question them ferociously on the issues at hand. I believe you'll still do it. I'm told by leaders who have attended your programs, which is a good thing, So I think when you're there, you must adopt to the intellectual and environment that you're in, that inquisitorial nature, which is very British as well, I must say, and Irish, because it's UKEC, right? Can't leave out our Irish friends. So yeah, so great experiences, varied experiences. If I can sum it up, I would say it helped me mature. The experience in UKEC, it was a maturing process.
There was a famous moment that happened in one UKC AGM that you attended, and apparently you stood up and gave a very heated speech.
Oh, you all heard about that?
Yeah. Could you tell us more about what happened?
Oh yes, I still remember. It was 2007. So what actually happened was we were having a great debate at that time, where you see the crux of the issue was Sharil was also the UMNO Manchester Club chairman. So at that time, given the heated sensitivities, or maybe the heightened sensitivities, that's a better term to use, some were arguing that they wanted UKEC to be apolitical, and some argued, those arguing UKEC to be apolitical said that, oh, you can't hold a position in UMNO or Gerakan UK or MCA UK or things like that. So I found that quite disturbing, because I said, look, in Malaysia, we are campaigning against UUCA. At that time, we were very much against the UUCA. UUCA obviously prohibits students' participation in politics in Malaysia. So I said it's a gross double standard. It was actually a philosophical debate and a principled debate over Malaysian students' engagement in politics. So in in Malaysia, we have the UUCA that prohibits Malaysian students, at that time, talking in 2007, from being involved in politics. So some who were campaigning against Sharil and others who held positions in UMNO and MCA and all that, I said, look, it's a blatant double standard, because in Malaysia we're saying one thing, and then here in UK we're doing another thing, and that actually caught the attention of the House that day. And I don't know whether I was rousing, but it was purely out of conviction that I felt we shouldn't have double standards. We should practice what we preach. And so the motion to disallow anyone who held a position in one of the affiliate political clubs that the political parties had set up in the UK, that was defeated. And Sharil was subsequently elected as the deputy chairman of UKEC.